Danny.
Yes?
Oh, well, we're in Richmond, Perth Street, and honest to God, if you saw... this was worse than September the 4th. I can't believe it's only a 6.3. The only thing I can work out is it's right under the city, and our neighbour just left the city and he heard screaming and dust galore coming from the buildings. And that's what I worry about, all our relatives and friends and everybody else's. There must be injuries. I mean, our chimney came down with the log burn and all the TVs are all smashed. We had none of this. We escaped it on September the 4th.
Well, what we've got to remember, there may not be injuries, Steph. What we've got to remember...
I hope not, but look at the time of day it struck.
Yeah, just remember, a lot of the damage now...
Oh, we've got another one. Hang on, Danny. I'm all right.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, I'll tell you where it was. It was at a depth of 5 kilometres.
Yeah.
It was within 5 kilometres of Littleton.
Really?
5 kilometres of Diamond Harbour, but actually 10 kilometres southeast of Christchurch. So it wasn't right under the city.
But how come there's so much damage? We've got silk coming up, flooding, and we're in Richmond.
Well, I'm no geophysicist, but I'll see if I can explain it to you. You've had a lot of earthquakes. And there's a lot of damage to buildings. So what will happen as you have another earthquake, the damage will continue. It's just a continuation of what's been going on. So try and stay calm, Steph.
Yeah, I know that. I could do with a drink right now, but I don't think the bottle store's open.
I don't think you need to head to the bottle store. In fact, people shouldn't be heading around because traffic lights are out and there are some problems with lights and things around the city.
Yeah, well, my thoughts are with everybody here, and I hope people are thinking of us in other parts of New Zealand, because honestly, it's horrible.
Well, you take care, Steph.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, g'day, Danny. My son in Brindle lost his power. My wife was in Pack and Save, and that all the stuff came tumbling down off the shelves there. I'm in Ranunga, and felt it over here and was hoping that it wasn't the Alpine fault flexing its muscles.
Well, it doesn't sound like it was, because it was southeast of Christchurch. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. We don't need it. So you're okay?
Yeah, good as gold. Yeah.
Okay, then, well, you take it easy. Look, guys, stay, if you are in Christchurch and the environs, keep your transistor handy, stay by the radio. We will try and keep you informed of what is going on as much as we get news. But it's sometimes safer to be outside than inside. Taking your calls, 0800 80 1080, Newstalk ZB.
Newstalk ZB.
Danny Watson Afternoons.
Powered by ResV Plus from abouthealth.co.nz.
At times like this, a lot of people will be jumping on their cell phone trying to contact people. You will have difficulties because not only is the power in parts of Christchurch out, traffic lights out, but also some of the cell phone systems are not up. Don't panic if you can't get through to people. That's why they're down. Hello, Olive. Enjoy your lunch.
You too.
G'day, Sally. You're at St Bede's College.
Yes, well, I'm just phoning. We just want to let the parents know that everyone's okay. We've got all the boys on the big lawn in front, so and we're only releasing them when a parent comes through or they can verify that they're safe to get home.
Well done. Any damage to the school?
They're still checking. Still checking. So, you know, there'll be minor stuff, but I don't know at this stage. We've got a couple of minor injuries just from, you know, accidents, but nothing, and that's a staff, so nothing. The boys are all fine. All
the students are fine at St Bede's College. Thanks for that, Sally.
This is Newstalk ZB Breaking News.
The earthquake that struck Christchurch just before 1 o'clock was of magnitude 6.3 and was just 5 kilometres deep. We cross live now to Christchurch to our reporter Scarlett Swetanovich. Scarlett, what can you tell us?
Well, I'm standing in the middle of Latimer Square, right in the central of the city. I was on the 7th floor of our Newstalk ZB building when the quake struck, and it's absolute chaos down here. Where I'm standing, there's emergency services flying past, there's a helicopter in the air. Buildings have absolutely collapsed. Buildings that stood up to that first earthquake have just collapsed. Walking outside onto the street, you couldn't see for the amount of dust. I've heard from colleagues that were sitting by the cathedral that the spire has fallen and a wall has fallen from the cathedral. I can't confirm that, but from where I'm standing, you can normally see the cathedral. I can't see it. People are in tears. They don't know what to do, and we've just been having aftershocks, and people are just panicking.
Scarlett Swetanovich there. Seismologist Craig Miller says it was centred 10 kilometres southeast of the city.
It's the biggest aftershock we've had. It's interesting, it actually looks like it's located just offshore to the southeast of Christchurch. It was probably about 95% the strength of gravity, which is round about the same level of shaking as the main shock in September.
Craig Miller says this quake is so big it will have aftershocks of its own. Reports of damage from the latest quake in Christchurch are coming in. Newstalk ZB's Tim Dyer was in the streets when the 6.5 magnitude earthquake hit.
There was a major shake and people running out of buildings, etc. And I'm still making my way through town. There are no lights going. There's quite a lot of liquefaction in the eastern side of the city along the Chuma Street, etc.
And houses in the Christchurch suburb of Woolston have been split in two. Afina Heke says she had only just returned home when the 6.5 magnitude quake hit. She says there's so much damage to her house and many others in the neighbourhood.
A lot of damage to our chimneys just come down. The driveway has been ripped up. The house has been split in half as well. And there was no damage in the original quake.
Afina Heke says some neighbours can't even get into their homes. Doors and windows are jammed. And Transpower confirms the power is out in parts of Christchurch, including the central business district. It's cut inspectors on the job checking equipment that tripped out during the quake. We'll have more on the Christchurch aftershocks as a break.
It is 1:35. If you've just joined us, Christchurch has experienced another very big earthquake, 6.3. Folded pavements, buildings evacuated, difficulty for people getting around town, traffic lights out, power is out, cell phones out in areas, no reports of any injuries. Schools have got the kids out into the paddocks, they've done all the right things. Christchurch, people in Christchurch, I know it's hard, but they've been going through this for quite some time, but people are really shaken by it. G'day, Glenn. Well, you take care, Glenn.
I will do, thanks.
Okay, now look, Newstalk ZB was knocked out by the earthquake in Christchurch. We are broadcasting to you on the radio sport frequency, so we're going to stay here with you. Now look, on a lighter note this afternoon, it is 1:40.
Afternoons with Danny Watson.
And Res V Plus from abouthealth.co.nz.
Call 0800 80 1080 on Newstalk ZB.
It is 1:43. If you've just joined us, a major earthquake in Christchurch. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Danny.
Yes, whereabouts are you?
I'm on the corner of Barbados Street and Morehouse Avenue.
Okay, what can you report?
Central City. I appreciate the magnitude wasn't greater than the first one, but the damage and the abruptness of it was worse. Businesses all around the area have closed. Schools are being evacuated. It's basically mass evacuation of the central city. In fact, probably, even some of the suburbs, I'd imagine. Traffic's gridlocked. The power's out. There's no police on patrol, of course, as you wouldn't expect. They can't get here just yet. The cathedral, I've just been past the Catholic Cathedral in Barbados Street. I think it's the Catholic. Half of that has collapsed. We're talking about major damage, certainly far worse than what we saw in the September quake. So whether it's an aftershock or a new quake, who knows? I guess the experts will tell us, but it's not good.
Now, Andrew, the cathedral's also been damaged in the centre of the city. Police are about the centre of the city, and you're right, they are evacuating the centre of the city. They want people out of the centre of the city because there are reports of some balconies and some loose masonry on buildings falling. There's some masonry that's fallen on a vehicle. I've seen pictures of a man that was injured by a piece of masonry that struck him in the face. So they just don't want people in the centre city. So I guess our advice to everybody that is listening in, stay away. Do not be sticky beaks. Do not try and make your way into the centre of that city.
Hey, trust me, no one has been a sticky beak. Everyone is trying to get out of here as quick as they can. And, of course, that's a big part of the problem. Can you use the bridges? The power's out, the traffic lights aren't working. Trust me, people are being very sensible about it. And it's more than just balconies falling down. There's buildings just along the road from us that have collapsed. Buildings that had some damage or survived the first quake, and now they're on the ground. So, she's very serious. And this is only, one part of town. So.
We appreciate your call, Andrew.
All right.
All the best. Hello, Ken. Newstalk ZB. G'day, Tom.
Yeah, hi, Danny. My wife just rang me from Christchurch. I'm down in Invercargill on business, and she was lucky she missed the first one. She was overseas at the time, but she said she rang me just after and she'd freaked out. She bailed out of a car. It was in the middle of town because she just literally couldn't hold it on the road, and she said she saw buildings falling down. She saw people injured.
Yeah, we've got reports of bricks and bits of masonry hitting people. We've only we have an unconfirmed report of one death. We're just hoping. I mean, we've got our fingers crossed on this one, Tom. Whereabouts in the city was she?
By the Tillionaires of the casino.
Okay, because just down the road from there, if you head into the city, the cathedral itself has got quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, I've been listening, apparently so, but she said that, there's lots of buildings down, and she's seen quite a few people that are injured, quite a bit of blood.
She's okay?
Yep.
What about the car? She's abandoned it and she's made her way out of town?
Yeah, well, I think I think she's jumped back in and she's trying to find her sister so she can go and find some support.
Okay, look, I appreciate your call, Tom.
Okay.
Okay. We have Jennifer Capola here from the Geological and Nuclear Services here in New Zealand. Good afternoon, Jennifer.
Hello.
What can you tell us?
Well, what we know right now is that it was a magnitude 6.3 earthquake, approximately 10 kilometers southeast of Christchurch. The depth was 5 kilometers. And so far we've had about 1,220 fault reports. 1,220 fault reports for that earthquake.
What does that mean?
Those are just reports that people have written in on our website saying that they have experienced that earthquake.
Now, a lot of reports of liquefaction and coming in areas that didn't get it last time.
Right.
What has caused that? Is this another fault?
I wouldn't say so, but I'm not a seismologist, so I can't really speak to that. But I'm not confident that it is another fault line.
Okay. Well, look, we appreciate it. And your website, if people want to go there?
It's www. That's a good question.
Okay, well, look, we'll sort that one out. Look, I've got the Christchurch Mayor, Bob Parker. Good afternoon, Mayor.
Yeah, g'day. Look, this is going to have to be very short, so please forgive me. What I want to be able to get out is that, first of all, there are a couple of things we need people to do. We need to keep the roads clear. We've got casualties in the central city area, and there are people moving out of that area in large numbers. Please don't go on the roads. Those roads are our lifeline. So people who are listening down here in Canterbury, we appear to have had a significant shake, not as strong as the first earthquake on the 4th of September. It looks like it's centred about 10 k's out of the central city area. I know we're all checking on our relatives. I haven't been able to check on my family yet, so if they're listening, I hope they'll get something to me. But listen, try to keep the phone use down to a minimum. Once again, phone lines are jamming around the city as we're all doing those sorts of checks.
Now, Bob, you mentioned casualties. We've heard of an unconfirmed death, and we know of people being hit with masonry. Can you tell us any more?
Well, we're in the art gallery. We're in the process of setting up our emergency operations centre. We've had to obviously check the building before we can bring people in. We've done that. There appears to me to be significant structural damage across the city. I've got reports of collapses. It's obviously hit the old historic buildings, which were already weakened very hard. I've had unconfirmed reports of significant damage in the central city area. But it would be foolish to speculate too much around the casualty level. But clearly, I think we have to steel ourselves to the fact that we've got some very seriously injured people on the reports that I've got so far. So once again, please, everybody just check on your neighbours. That's such an important thing to do. If there are older people in your area, this is a very serious aftershock. Magnitude, I think, is around 6.3, and on that, I'm afraid I have to go.
Okay, that's the Mayor of Christchurch, Bob Parker. The Prime Minister, John Key, will be joining us just after 2 o'clock. Now, just on that, if you are listening in Canterbury and environs, you can go to, or tell your neighbours to go to 10:17 a.m. That is the frequency that we are on, and you can get us on 10:17 a.m. You may try the radio sport frequency if you can get us on our normal frequency, but do check your neighbours. Another thing you may wish to do, and take my advice on this one, is if you have running water, fill a couple of containers. You may not need it, but your neighbour may need some of those things in the next couple of days. So please check your neighbours, look after yourselves, and make sure you stay away from the central city. If you're in the central city, police want you to make your way out of that area, away from any buildings that may be fractured, weakened due to the earthquake. News and sport is next.